Apex Legends, a game nobody saw coming. The refreshing take on everything Battle Royales were doing at the time, collecting hundreds of thousands of players' attention. Movement, gunplay, abilities, and every piece of the world Respawn had created were incredible. Yet the only thing you hear about Apex anymore is controversy.
I don't think so, Ian. I'm not going to lie. All the third-party tournament organizers have backed out of Apex because the game is just kind of like not very comp-friendly.
Feeling is really hard to shake when you get in the game and just get absolutely annihilated by every other player for hours on end.
Yeah, when I was playing mouse and key, bro, there was so many times I just like thought I could totally play, and I was like, even if I played like perfect there, I was dead.
You're playing on this, and I don't care who you are. If you're a scrub or whatever you are, aim assist close range is broken. It is literally aimbot.
What happened? Well, a few things. But first, I want to go over one of the issues that was foreseen from the beginning. EA. EA is the most notoriously predatory gaming publisher pretty much ever. And there's good reason for the notoriety. It's of course because they have the most handsome CEO. They were one of the first to do loot boxes and loot crates, which is stinky, yucky, gross. Children don't need to be playing slot machines. But most of the issues aren't directly related to in-game purchases. More so the approach EA has had in cosmetics and merchandise outweighing in-game fixes and updates. As long as they can sell you a $500 knife, they don't really mind if you can't play the game. And I'm not playing with you, man, because it's bad. For context, the tick rate decides how many times per second you and your enemy's positions are updated in the servers, which you can imagine is pretty important for a game where you need like pretty good accuracy, unless you're on control. For example, the servers are 20 Hz tick rate, which is lower than Among Us, the top-down game, where you're a little spaceman. Let that sink in. But I don't want to act like EA is the only problem here. They aren't. It's stupid to pretend that they are.
I was gonna say, I feel like every single first-person shooter that has any aim assist or controller like dominant. Like they
Je l'ai pas remis, si t'inquiète, regarde, je me suis juste pas
With a divided community, they can't really do anything without being wrong, except fixing the tick rate, because it's really bad. There was a large portion of the Apex community that didn't think tap strafing, which has become a fundamental mechanic, should be in the game. Respawn saw this, and they fixed it. They took away tap strafing. And boy, I tell ya, as if the night monsters crawled out of their hidey holes, every pro player and wannabe pro player came out of the wall saying, "What'd you do to my tap strafing? I can't break Timmy's neck anymore." And of course, Respawn said, "Alright, we'll put it back." And still, to this day, you see people complaining about movement and things that you can't do on console because it's unfair. Oh boy, let me tell you about unfair. Now, I'm going to try to go at this unbiased. Aim assist sucks and it should be removed completely because controller players don't belong in a competitive game. In actuality, aim assist is necessary. You need to have aim assist in any FPS that is fighting against mouse and keyboard or just fighting against each other. Because let's be honest, shooting the sky for most of your clip is just not fun. But it's a very hard thing to balance. And Apex definitely hasn't perfectly balanced it. Controllers have every disadvantage in the book, from being 45 years old and having 6 kids, to moving around the game map like a wobbly grandma, to the fact that using a game menu on controller feels like you're reading a book in a different language. But when you're close to your enemy and you're strafing side to side, aim assist can change the entire outcome of a fight and leave your enemy like eating his Doritos sadly, like really sadly. And of course, one might feel cheated when somebody that hasn't had to perfect their aim has better aim than you probably ever will. And I'm not saying I know all the answers, but aim assist needs a change, at least in crossplay. Nobody wants to get rid of console players that just want to have fun. Nobody wants that. And boy, oh boy, our last topic. And let me tell you, this one's a doozy, because if you want to talk about divided, this is the perfect time. This is where they separate the bald-headed wraiths from the no-skin lifelines. This is where boys become men. Skill-based matchmaking. Lately, this has been really highly discussed. Load up any game on Steam that has over 100,000 players and tell me how long it takes you to get into a match. Not 10 years, or like, if we're being realistic, 10 minutes. Because that's crazy. Nobody wants little Timmy, who hasn't even figured out how to use his thumbs, to be going up against Fade. We just don't want to have to sweat like this is our full-time job every time we fight. The skill bracket is so tight right now that it takes an egregious amount of time to get into a game because they want to find the actual cloned specimen of you. After moving, I took a 2-month break from Apex. I came back and I wasn't better. I didn't feel fresh. I felt awful. It felt like I was fighting me at my peak every fight. And that's just not fun. And it's unrealistic for a player to constantly be at their best, and that shouldn't be the only time they can compete. Nobody wants to play a game where fun is punished, but in Apex Legends, having fun is a thing of the